Welcome to the Dani Clinkscale Reasonably Irreverent podcast. Insightful and witty commentary, probing interviews, and detours from the beaten path.
Welcome to Kansas City Profiles, presented by Easton Roofing, and it's time to check in with Dani Welniak, the Executive Director of Communication for the Kansas City Current. We are going to combine this little conversation with our chat from a couple years ago, right after she left KCTV5 and joined the Kansas City Current. And Dani, that was a wonderful conversation, and you've had a fabulous journey from youth sports to becoming a professional football player and a wonderful announcer and a trailblazing announcer as well, and a family-oriented person also. Just take us through the past couple of years. It certainly has been a fantastic role with the Current.
Oh my gosh, it's been a blast, and it has been a blessing for sure, Dani. And thank you again for having me on once again. It's always such a pleasure to be able to chat with you and just to catch up on life, because that's the important thing, is that we're all connected and that we're all having these conversations. But it's been a fantastic 2 years. I just hit 2 years with the club in June. And to be a part of so many firsts has been just eye-opening and incredible and surreal. The fact that my first day on the job here with the Kansas City Current was the day that they opened their training facility in Riverside, which was the first purpose-built training facility for a women's professional team in the United States. And then to be able to say that I was blessed enough to be a part of the team that opened up CPKC Stadium, which is the first stadium purpose-built for a women's professional team in the world, is also surreal. And looking back on those two things, on top of announcing the incredible plans for the district down on Berkeley Riverfront, to now being a part of this incredible team that is at the top of the table and head coached by Vlatko Andonovski with some incredible players such as Temwa Shawinga and Adi Franch and Lola Bonta. I mean, there is not a better time to be a part of women's professional sports.
There isn't, and when you're in a role, obviously as director of communication, you are providing information for people. But a lot of times, what it is to promote the team. Well, the team is promoting themselves, and the organization is promoting themselves. You don't really have to sort of gild the lily a little bit here.
Well, it's been fun because I've gotten all sorts of the ends of the spectrums, from 2022 when I first started going to a championship game, to 2023 where the team finished near the bottom of the table and had a roller coaster season, to now being back at the top and the CPKC Stadium in Kansas City hosting the NWSL Championship. It's pretty exciting. So there's been a lot of ups and downs, but it has been just a remarkable journey.
In a remarkable 2024, the team has been amazing. You've got a great rivalry now with the other team that's not losing hardly at all as well. There seems to be a little spice in that. And the atmosphere at the stadium is unbelievable. I've toured the stadium. It's great. I'm looking forward to getting out to a game there. I went to a birthday event sort of in that neighborhood about a month ago, and half the people there were about to go to the Current game after they were at the birthday party. So they're all decked out in their teal and et cetera. The atmosphere has been fantastic, and the team has responded by basically killing people in there every time out.
It's been unreal. There is no atmosphere like it. And the fact that after the stadium opened, all of the players were talking about how they couldn't hear anything because it was so loud. And the fan experience is unlike any other, from the food and beverage to the excitement that happens on the pitch to just the player experience. It's so cool how it all comes together, and that people leave CPKC Stadium wanting to come back for more. There's FOMO because they want to be here for every single exciting match and all the cool things that we have going on from an activation standpoint. So it's been a really, really cool journey. And I am so blessed to be a part of it for sure.
Maybe the only challenging aspect of it for this year has been people in Kansas City love their parking. There's no question about that. But the Current has decided purposefully to do things in a different way and encourage people to make it more of a city type of venture by getting there in every way possible, except for driving your own car into a big parking lot like at Arrowhead. And I think people have initially probably were taken aback a little bit by that, but it seems to be getting embraced more and more by every passing match.
Yeah, we have thousands of people that use multimodal transportation to get down to the matches every single match day, whether that's walking or biking, or we have a bike valet actually that is on the river side of our stadium near our entry gate. And there's anything from scooters to rollerblades that get checked into the bike valet because people just want to get down here and they find different ways to get down here, which is awesome. And then once the streetcar gets down here, it's going to make a world of difference. And then, of course, right now, there's so many big plans for that district, for the Riverfront district here next to CPKC Stadium, that this place is going to be popping. So people will be able to come down hours before a match and enjoy an entertainment district while also being able to stay late a couple hours after a match and still have things to do and places to eat and places to shop. So really excited to see how this all develops and how Kansas City's Riverfront just changes from a multimodal transportation perspective to also just a place that revitalizes the riverfront downtown.
Yeah, this has been a great success, but we're really only at the outset of all the things that are going on, and you're going to be very busy telling people about developments and restaurants and things like that. I mean, this is really just the start of things that are going to be an incredible growing process, and the start has been amazing.
Yeah, the stadium is the catapult. It's the catalyst to Chris and Angie Long's vision of making Kansas City a place that people really want to come. People want to be a part of, not only in Kansas City, but also nationally and internationally. The idea of CPKC Stadium now being named to Time's top 100 greatest places to visit in 2024 just sets the bar and also makes a statement that we are here not only to stay, but also to invite people, to invigorate the community, and to make fans from all across the globe come to Kansas City and know that they're missing out on something spectacular.
Well, as usual, most things that Patrick Mahomes has any hand in whatsoever turn to gold, and that has been the case here. And he's involved. He comes to the matches every now and then. He and his wife are big supporters and obviously part owners, and that's going to be a cool thing, too.
Yeah, Brittany Mahomes was part of the co-founding group. So it was originally Angie Long, Chris Long, and Brittany Mahomes who had this vision to bring this team here in Kansas City and to create something so much bigger than just bringing a women's team to Kansas City. It was the idea of building the stadium and bringing on partners and really influencing and impacting women's sports. And I think that we saw not only from the co-founding group, but then now as Patrick has joined the ownership group, even his Time 100 speech and how he is very passionate about women's sports and is lifting up the next generation of female athletes and empowering them as well. Now that, he has two daughters, one daughter Sterling and then another one on the way, that it's a really important part of their family. It's a part of the future. It's a part of how he is going to leave his legacy. And I think that's really, really cool to be a part of.
Well, a thing that's always cool to be part of is to ask you about your family because it's so important to you and has been part of your professional journey as well and maybe some decision making. Tell us how things are going family-wise. Obviously, you're very busy, but maybe a little more structured busy.
I mean, now that Cameron, our daughter, is about 3.5, she'll be 4 in October. She is a sports junkie, and I thought she was going to be really into football like her mom was. She loves soccer. She loves coming to KC Current games. Her favorite player right now is Temwa Shawinga, so that's always fun to be able to hear her talk about after matches and how she's inspired by these women on the field. But also, like with the Olympics going on right now, she loves swimming. So I'm really excited to see what her future looks like. And of course, we're going to support her in whatever she does, whether it's athletic or not athletic related. But right now we are thoroughly embracing the 3.5-year-old phase and trying to put into perspective just how incredible it is that, mom and dad are a big part of changing women's sports and changing the landscape of what it means for the world that she's growing up in to look equal. For her to know that she goes to these Casey Current games, and that she won't know anything different as she grows up than women having their own facilities and women having the same opportunities as men do. So it's pretty amazing. Gives me goosebumps every time I get to talk about the generational change and how the world is changing right here in our own backyard.
Well, keeping things in perspective has certainly been a strength of yours, and we'll hear more about that in the conversation we had a couple of years ago that takes you on the journey from little girlhood all the way up to the time when you joined the Current. It's great to catch up with you and get a little synopsis of the last couple of years, and I look forward to talking to you again real soon.
Awesome, Dani. Thank you so much. Always a blessing and a pleasure, and we'll chat again very soon.
Dani Welniak, the Executive Director of Communications, her complete Kansas City profile, presented by Easton Roofing, comes your way next.
More of Dani's Reasonably Irreverent podcast after this.
Did you experience hail damage last year and never got the work done? Most insurance companies only give you a year to get the roof fixed, and if you don't get it done, you could possibly not be compensated in full for the replacement of your roof. If you've been procrastinating getting that damaged roof taken care of, give us a call at 913-257-5426, and we'll send out an expert to help you through the process. We're never pushy, we're just here to help. Easton Roofing. Integrity matters.
Cinematic Visions has been an affordable solution for professional media production in Kansas City since 2003, offering award-winning video production and creation, as well as a wide array of digital and social media management services. From planning, scripting, filming, editing, and post-production, to delivering your product to a watching world, Cinematic Visions will provide professional and affordable services for you and your business with the necessary return on investment to make it all worthwhile. Cinematic Visions' goal is to unlock the power of storytelling through video and a strong online presence for your company. Beyond the numbers, they want to inspire and evoke your clients to feel and act. Let my friends at Cinematic Visions embed your brand where it belongs, in your customers' minds. You can find them online at cinematicvisions.com or with a quick phone call at 816-600-6300. If you'd like to join these and other fine sponsors and market your business to Kansas City's #1 variety podcast, contact us at Danny@DannyKlinkscale.com. Look forward to working with you. Dani, you were born in Peoria, Illinois, and spent a few years there. So tell us about the young girl that was Dani Welniak.
Well, I can tell you this much. I have loved sports from a very young age, and my dad actually was a linebacker for the University of Nebraska. He was a captain back in the late 80s. And so I grew up in a very sports-savvy family. My mom's a big sports person, sports fan, cheerleader, swimmer, did all of those things. So I definitely get my athleticism from both sides. And when I was growing up, when I was in Peoria there for the first 8 years of my life, I really fell in love with animals and with softball. And so I thought maybe a professional softball player or a veterinarian was what I would do with the rest of my life. And my mom was big on coaching my t-ball teams. And so she was a huge influence in encouraging me to follow my dreams regardless of what that looked like. And so growing up in Peoria, Illinois, I have some pretty vivid memories, but most of my formative years came a little bit later that defined my personality and where I am now. But Peoria was certainly a great place to grow up, and I love everything that it made me what I am today.
Do you have siblings?
I do, yes. I have a younger brother and a younger sister. So I am the oldest of three, which is probably no surprise to the people and friends that are close to me, because I definitely have that leadership mentality. And my younger brother is currently an engineer in Oklahoma City, so he got the brains of the family. My sister is currently a teacher in Oklahoma as well. And she definitely got the heart of the family. So I have these two siblings that balance me out really, really well. They're both incredible human beings. And my brother was one that we could have knockdown, drag out fights, and we'd be really physical. And then by the end of it, we'd be best friends again. And then my sister is someone that I've been able to